we want to look at that, and we're going to go into. We have to go into. We have to go into a little bit more detail because we do understand we're dealing with smaller, younger people, and we are also dealing with senior people that know a lot about boating, and a lot about other things. We're dealing with people that know a lot about canoes and kayaks, and this is in the family of the canoe and kayak. So it's kind of like a first cousin to the canoe and kayak. You know, you're standing up on two small kayaks. And so a lot of the, not all, but a lot of the physics, a lot of the geometry of the canoe and kayak is embedded into the water shoe, but a lot of it is not. We are standing up. We are standing up on a platform. So if you take your canoe or kayak and you stand up on it, you see this. It's a little difficult to, and it's not impossible, but it's a little difficult to stand up on a canoe and kayak, especially in moving water, to a great degree. And you see these new little paddle boards. The guy's standing up with one oar and he's paddling along, and but you notice they're wearing. You notice they're wearing swim clothing or water clothing or something they can get in the water, wetsuits and this kind of thing, so if they fall over, you know, they can get back up. And they are conscious of falling over. And it's not a big deal. I fall over and get back on my paddle board. You know, the paddle board is these oversized surfboards. I think maybe you've seen them around. This is not a water shoe, it's a oversized paddleboard, and we recognize that. The water shoe, in order to be a water shoe, it has to be able to ambulate, be able to walk and move. And so with our shoe, the psychology is not to fall over. Where in the paddleboard, the psychology is you can fall over, or a surfboard. You wear swim clothes with a surfboard because it's understood you're going to fall over, so you wear swim clothing. The conscious objective in the water shoe is that you're not supposed to fall over. So we wear street clothing. Although, like riding a bicycle, it takes a little time to get used to riding a bicycle. So you do have a little, you know, a learning curve. And in the water shoes, you don't have that much of a learning curve, but you do have a slight learning curve. When you get your something we call sea legs, you have to get your sea legs. Now, for the people that don't know, sea legs means that you know, your body is used to this rocking and moving. You know, you don't necessarily have a sense of loss of balance on the water shoes, but you do have a sense of movement. So we are conscious of that, and we are slowly building the individual up to that. So when you first, with as much material as we are putting out so far, you can kind of maybe build a water shoe or start building a water shoe, or, you know, experimenting with the water shoe. And if you are, which is great and all that, and you can just jump in anytime you want to, but we're going to continue to add more material and try to build up background material and expose you to the water shoes and things that you are maybe not that familiar with, because the thing got lost in history. And like we said before, a lot of the established science, the scientific community, and the established educational community don't recognize these shoes as being real. They recognize them as being, you know, some kind of sideshow. A guy could walk on a tightrope, you know, but it's not for the normal person to walk on a tightrope. They're not saying, well, you can't do it, but it's kind of weird to the outside. What we're saying is not. It's in the family with the canoe and kayak, and it's a relatively stable piece of apparatus, and it's been around for thousands of years. in China, and we think probably China. Now we know hard China because we got hard evidence, and we got hard books with hard numbers on it. That thing came from China off the Yangtze River, and we have the books with guys who wrote, guys who have PhDs and all that, and they're fellows and all this stuff, you know. And so we got that locked in, so we don't have to speculate as much as we did the first the first 30-some years. You know, we were kind of putting things together and conjecturing a little bit, and this looks like it maybe came from here, and we were working with Japan and the wooden shoes a lot, and thought it kind of came from there. But the Orient in general, Japan, Korea, China, down in Vietnam, and even parts of India and all this, these guys circulated a lot, and so a lot of ideas moved around, and we talked a little bit about that, I think, in the last film. But here about building water shoes and the water shoe bill, and so we're gonna stop right here and reload for the water shoe, and we're gonna be talking about how to build the water shoes and the little things with something we call rigging, how to better rig this and rig that for different situations. Well, for right now, a basic situation, just a small lake, a small pond, and this is where we're starting. And then later on, down the road, we'll rig for deep ocean and all that kind of stuff. But we'll start out crawling. We'll start out crawling, and then we'll slowly move up. We want you guys to write us. We appreciate the emails that we've gotten, and we appreciate that. But now, you know, we're a partner, and so we're moving into the bigger picture. You know, we want you guys to write us and give us you know, comments and all this. The more you do, the more we can do. The more we do, the more you do. And we'll just keep building up into what we call a club, a water shoe club, International Water Shoe Club. You guys tell me what you're doing, I tell you what we're doing. You guys got some questions about different things, you know, you write me, and we'll try to express them on these little lectures. So we're gonna stop and we're gonna go and do this, and we'll come right back.